Hello, YouTube. Uh, Welcome to another episode of Joe Ketchapalia talks about building shipping container homes and tiny homes and other stuff. We haven't gotten really to the other stuff yet, but trust me, we're going to get there. Going to be just some tube houses. I thought those were pretty cool. I don't know if they're very practical, but that we'll have to see. But anyway, today in my building a shipping container home series, we're going to talk about setbacks because that's kind of been the key word for the last couple of weeks. I think the last video, maybe even the one before, I mentioned a little delay in the foundation plans, which creates a delay in getting the building permit, and on and on and on. Um, so to sort of alleviate a little bit of that, we took the containers, moved them to another site to start working on them, which was fantastic, except that we couldn't move them any day that it rained, and it seemed like every day last week that we wanted to move them, it did rain. So they didn't actually get moved until yesterday, uh, which is fine. I don't have a tight deadline. I knew there was going to be a lot of bumps in the road doing this. Um, but so that's one. The other, I think I might have promised you some plans on the tiny home, the second lot that I had mentioned not too long ago. My architect on that one has actually been sick and out of work for a couple weeks, so I did not get that. He assures me that he's better, which is good, and it wasn't COVID, which is also nice. Although, if he's better either way, I'm happy with that. Uh, and maybe early next week we're going to see that. So hopefully, I think I showed you the plans that I have on there, which were just I put together in Excel, but he's going to take those and probably make them a lot better because he knows what he's doing. But anyway, we did get the shipping containers moved. I went and took some video because now it's in a site where I can see it a little bit better. So I thought I'd share that today. Let me get to it. And so just a little quick video just so you can do a walk around. You can see these are really rough. We got a great deal on them. I like that these aren't one trip containers. We're really recycling something that is probably not going to be used otherwise. They were just sitting in a yard. Um, you can see I really like the aesthetic of these. I've been told a few times now that the city might not let us keep this as the siding, at least not in the street facing side. I really hope that's not the case, but if it is, we'll work with that. If we have to side the front side, it's not that big of a deal. But I just thought I'd give you a little peek at these. You can see there is a lot of rust. This is that Corten steel, so it's not rusting through. It's just really on the surface. And the way that is, um, I think I've probably mentioned that before. And if you are at all interested in shipping containers, it's one of the benefits that it sort of rusts over and then won't rust through, at least not for a very long time. And it's part of the design of them. You can tell these are the older containers, and I don't know, how much you know about shipping containers, but these back sides on a lot of the newer one-trip containers are going to have doors on both sides. These come with just the corrugated steel on the back, which is great because we're going to just be, putting some windows and um, glass doors in there anyway. So it's a lot easier to do that in that corrugated metal than it is to do it through the front doors. Um, I think the way that we have these lined up right now is going to be the order they're going to be in. And so if we can keep any of the exterior look, we will have one half of that graffitied area that I had showed you before, in a picture at least, will be will be exposed uh, in that interior space that we talked about. But let me just get back. I just want to show. Yeah, this is going to be in between the two separate sections. Um, and so I think, and if even if not, we talked about. Hopefully, I'm adjusting here. Hopefully, nobody can tell that I'm not wearing pants. I don't think there's a reflection or anything. I've seen those blooper videos where you can tell that. Um, I don't think so. I think we're fine. Uh, and so I did get a couple more renderings of what this should look like. And so, although you can't really, I don't know that we really see it. But so, you have two sections. You have these first two containers, and you have the second two over there. And then in between is that spot where I'm talking about where that'll be secluded, and so I think we're going to be able to paint that up however we want, and nobody should really care about that. And so my contractor is actually knows the people that did that original graffiti, which I thought was so interesting. And they actually will do like a little bit more artwork type stuff. And so we might have them come out and do this. Certainly nothing certain yet. Maybe we just get to keep that surface. I just really like the idea of not having to not having to tear it down, um, prime it, paint it again, if it's going to last the way it is. And I think that the way they're designed, it really should be. I mean, that's the appeal of the container and the corrugated steel in general. But if we have to do a little bit to it, it's not going to break my budget either. So, and I think we can still, at the end of the day, make it pretty cool. But yeah, I think I've shown a less detailed version of this rendering before. So this is going to be, if we were right here, somewhere around here is where the parking is going to be. There's much less grass because it is a tree lot right now. I don't know, maybe it'll get a little greener once. I think there'll probably be some trees left up front too. It's going to depend, a lot of how much we have to cut down is going to just depend on how hard it is to get access to these, moving the containers into their location. Um, but this is hopefully a little bit what it looks like. This garage door, we talked about maybe having it be all glass, a couple different options, but I think that'll be great. You can open it if you want to, but if not, you've got the door over there. So another shot of it, just to give you a little bit more detail. I did really like that we did this bump out here. I think, one of the videos we talked about adding a half bath, and they did that by actually just shifting one container forward 3 feet, maybe 3 or 4 feet. And so that creates this little space here that's going to be a half bath without cutting space out of the kitchen. So now that's still a flat wall there. The little kitchen space is over there. One of the things we did, we don't have upper cabinets, we're doing open shelves, and so that makes it pretty easy to put a window in this space too, which is nice. You can do it with the cabinets as well, but that's how we went with it. And then the other thing, I think I probably talked about this, but we've gotten a little further on this design. We are going to take off the container doors that are on each end here, and then probably frame them in. And so then, what we do as far as windows is sort of a little bit open right now. We are, I say we, it's not me doing it, but we've got somebody out there looking at some of the secondhand construction material shops and just really seeing what we can find that's going to work for windows. And like I said, we're trying to do as much reclaim stuff as we can, or secondhand, or really trying to make this an affordable project. But also, I just like the sustainability aspect of that. There's a lot of stuff that gets torn out of things and just thrown away, or that's just not really utilized for its full life cycle. And so, as much of that as we can do, we're going to do. Although, one of the things I've realized is we're trying to do this in a pretty tight timeline. I'm going to put it out there now. We're hoping that this is done by the end of February. To me, that seems really quick and not a lot of time to just sort of get lucky and find the right things. So some of the stuff we're going to buy have a pretty limited window budget, but I think it's really important. And so we're gonna figure out what we can put in there. So it'll look a little bit different. Maybe we'll do sliders and then we'll do railings. But yeah, I just thought I'd share those. Just let you know, really haven't made a ton of progress. Hopefully next week I'll be able to go back out in video, and then we'll have some windows and door holes cut out at least. We'll have it all marked up and ready for just really starting to move on the project. I'm hoping. But we'll see. We'll see. And if not, I'll at least have some plan for the tiny home, and we can talk about that. And maybe if anybody has suggestions on helping me get stuff moving, if it is still stalled, we'll talk about that as well. Speaking of which, about suggestions, I have gotten a couple questions that for videos I'm going to talk about. How I'm financing these projects. Are we really saving money using containers? Those are the two that I've gotten from a couple of people, but I really do appreciate the questions, and I'm going to address those. But if anybody else has additional ones, I'd love it if you put it in the comments. people direct messaging me or just calling me and talking to me. You know, if you're my friends or relatives, which is what a lot of people have really done in response to this, that's great too. Also, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm up to 23. I was promised number 24 yesterday, but he did not come through. Hopefully that happens today. If not, gonna be sending out some mean text messages, I guess, because that's how I roll. So look out. If you tell me you're going to subscribe, you better do it. And I think that's about it for today. Hopefully next time we'll have some real progress to report. And at least I can still shut these off good. It's been a couple weeks now, so yeah, there we go. See you later.